Hey investors, today we're going to analyze the Tampa, Florida real estate market. We're going to take a look at the overall market first, and then we're going to actually look at an actively listed investment property in Tampa and look at things like cash flow, return on investment, cash on cash return. In essence, we just want to see if we purchase an investment property in Tampa today, will they make financial sense, and is it a good investment? If this is your first time to our channel, welcome. I'm Dave Hathaway, and on this channel, we discuss real estate, investing, and building wealth. This is part of our Deal Day series, where each week we look at a new property in a new market to see if it makes financial sense and to see if we can't find properties that can help us build generational wealth. So let's get after it. Today, we're going to look at the address 2306 West Spruce Street, Tampa, Florida, 33607. Before we look at the individual investment property, I actually like to take a deep dive on the overall market to see if it's trending up, if we can kind of ride that wave of growth, or if it's actually shrinking and it's going to pull us down or hurt our investment properties going forward. So number one about Tampa, the top three economic drivers is number one, tourism, number two, healthcare, and number three, financial services. It does have some major Fortune 500 companies headquartered there, including Tech Data, WellCare Health Plans, Bloomin' Brands, which is the owner of like Outback Steakhouse, Fleming Steakhouse, Bonefish, Carrabba's, and Reliance Steel and Aluminum. So that's great having four Fortune 500 companies headquartered there. That helps with growth of the market. Also has major league sports, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFL, the Tampa Bay Lightning in the NHL, and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. So it has three major league sports teams, which is huge. It also has an international airport in Tampa International Airport. And a really unique, cool thing about Tampa is it has the world's longest continuous pedestrian walkway, Bay Shore Boulevard, which is a 5.4 mile stretch along Tampa Bay. I just found that interesting. So let's move along to the Google Street View test. When I look at Google Street Views, this property, it's just pretty ugly. It's gray, it's got red steps, but if you look down the street, it's a relatively clean street. Across the street is new apartments that were just built. It looks like it's close to maybe an up-and-coming business district. One of the buildings has a bunch of board ups. It looks like it's under construction, so it could be in a really awesome spot, but it could not. If that doesn't develop at all, then you kind of don't have that upside, but it's always that upside there. And it's nice to see when things are under construction was what it looks like, that you'd be right next to some businesses. So overall, I'm going to give it an okay on the Google Street test. I would trust maybe a local realtor, and I would reach out to them and say, hey, is this area a good area, or would you not invest in this area? And for you local investors in Tampa, since I'm not from Tampa, let me know. Do you think this is a good area? Do you think this is a bad area? What area in Tampa? Put them down in the comments. Do you think are the best areas to invest that are going to appreciate the most? Now, moving on to the stats of the overall market, it is a population of 393,000 and a growth rate of 0.8%. It's been growing really healthy. And it, as you can see on the graph, it goes up and to the right, which is great. It's got job growth of 4.6%, which is awesome. Unemployment rate of 3.1%, super low, under the national average. It has average salaries of $60,000 a year, which is great. That should support house prices. Median sales price of homes is $497,000, and that is up 11% year over year, which is a lot. So you do want to be a little careful there. It does have a plus 7 days on market year over year, which is showing that it is slowing down overall or cooling off. So that's a good sign. Median rents are $2,100. That's down $255 year over year. So that is a big downtrend. The price to rent ratio is 19.72. So that is not a great price to rent ratio. Anything under 15, usually you can cash flow. So it looks like it's trending downwards, the overall market. My market verdict is that it is a good market overall. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up, but I just want to say be cautious. When you're looking at these stats, what it's showing is that things could trend down. Sales prices have skyrocketed up, and then the days on market are actually coming down. I still think, let me look down, I still think they're overall super low days on market. It's 25, so it was like under 20 days on market, which is crazy hot. Tampa Bay has just been in fuego. But Florida's been getting this bad news about insurance prices tripling. So I think we're going to see this regression of investors just flooding the market. And at that price point of $497, that's expensive for a median sales price in Tampa. I do also think that Tampa is kind of skewed. It probably has some just ridiculously expensive properties on the water, and then it's got some more affordable not on the water. So I think some of those median sales price is skewed. So I wouldn't say that it's like a grossly unaffordable market, but it was getting there with these 11% year over year increases is pretty crazy. So that said, just be cautious and know that the trend is probably going down. So if you're going to look to get into the market, I always advise get into the market in the winter. That's when the prices are going to be at their lowest, and you don't get into the market in your June or July's, as that's when notoriously the markets are going to be at their peaks. So just be aware of that and just know that, hey, if you want to get in, maybe just be researching, be super confident on the market, and look for that December, January, February timeframe where prices hit rock bottom and you'll have a little bit more negotiating power. Moving along to the actual listing, this property is listed at $265,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, single-family home. It has 1,012 square feet, so not very much. It was built in 1953, so a little bit older, but not ridiculously old. And my rehab suggestions on this property is right off the bat, it is ugly. So potential renters are going to see that same thing. So the things that I do to kind of clean it up on the front is I'd take that security door off. I'd give that front door a really nice color of paint, whether it's just going to be black or maybe a nice like blue gray, something nice that's going to give it a little bit of pop, give it a clean look. I'd also paint those top vents. It looks like they're the same color as the ridiculous color stairs, which are red. I'd paint the vents white, and then I'd paint the concrete stairs gray. So just give it a nice clean look coming up to the property. I'd also spray the white metal iron railings white or black, give them a fresh touch up all over. And then moving on to the inside of the house is actually done pretty tasteful. The things that it's got great are it has granite countertops. They look terrific. I think you might be able to keep the kitchen cabinets. It's got stainless steel appliances. It's got laminate floors that are tasteful that I'd keep if they weren't in bad shape. The things that I would replace on the inside is it's got a teal bathroom where the subway tile are teal, some of them are black. I might glaze the tile white. It's not that expensive to do. And then for the other bathroom, I actually might do an overhaul in that bathroom and give the stand-up shower a really good look with some marble looking tile and just really give it one solid bathroom that looks great, that will really pop in pictures. I think you'll really get a return on investment there. But overall, it doesn't need a ton. My rehab budget on this one would probably be like $15,000. I mean, if you did a little bit more, you could probably raise that budget. But overall, I think you could get by with $15,000. So then moving on to the analyzer, Zillow thinks this property can rent for $2,346. And looking at comps, I tend to agree. One thing that I really love when you're looking at properties and trying to find a good deal is when you find a property and then the properties surrounding it or on a couple streets over are really expensive, which you can see on this map. There's a few that are like 800,000. It just has some really expensive properties. 610,000, 400,000, 540,000, 880,000 across the street, 900,000 across the street. These are expensive properties. So when you're purchasing something that's 265, you're going to have some built-in equity. And I know this is a small property, but when I see that, I like it. I like it a lot. So yearly taxes on this property are going to be $2,672. And then when you look down, your monthly cash flow, if you were to purchase this all cash, is $1,551 or 6.44% return on investment. That isn't terrible, but it's definitely not great. If you are going to get a 30-year fixed loan on this property with an interest rate of around 6.5%, your cash flow would go down to $220 or 3.66%, which I don't love at all. I'd say at a very minimum, go for a cash flow of $300 or more. In my properties in Baltimore, I like them to be higher than that. But I think if you can get this property somewhere above $300, I think it's a good long-term rental. I think you'll get good appreciation. You're right next to the University of Tampa. And I'd bless this property with a thumbs up if you can get it at the right price. So maybe that's $250, maybe that's a little bit less, maybe it's $245, but you're also realizing that you're purchasing this property and you're probably going to have a nice built-in equity. So it might be okay to take less cash flow on this property if you know that you're purchasing a property with $40,000 in equity. And when you go to sell, you're going to get that equity out of the property, or if you refinance, but that will suck all your cash flow out if you refinance. So sometimes I'm willing to give a bit on the cash flow if you're purchasing and get a nice built-in equity spread. So that's it. I'm giving the market a thumbs up. I'm giving this property a thumbs up if you get it somewhere around $300 cash flow. And I'd love if you guys smash the like button to show your appreciation, spread some love, and I'll see you on the next Deal Day video.